සරසරටම එකතු වෙන ජය පිටියක්
රටවල් 20ක් අවුරුදු එකහමාරක් වගේ ඇතුළත අභිබවලා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ පාපන්දු ශේෂ්ත්‍රය අපිට විශාල ජයග්‍රහණයක්. තව මෙතිනුත් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා අපිට ආසියාවේ හොඳම කණ්ඩායම බවට පත් වෙන්න අපි උත්සාහ දරමින් ඉන්නවා.
අපි දිනමු ජය ගමන පෙරට අපි දිනමු.
ක්‍රීඩකයන් අතර පාපන්දු ක්‍රීඩාව ජනප්‍රිය කරන්න අපි විශාල උත්සාහයක් ගනිමින් ඉන්නවා.
සරටම එකතු වෙන ජය පිටියක්
අපිට මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපි උත්සාහ ගන්න ඊළඟට අපිට එන දකුණු ආසියානු පාපන්දු තරඟාවලියේ කුසලානය දිනා ගන්න අපි තරඟ කරන්න තමයි අපි සැලසුම් කරන්නේ. අවුරුදු 31කට පස්සේ අපි මේ උත්සාහය ගන්න. මොකද අපි අවුරුදු 31කින් කුසලානය ජයග්‍රහණය කළා නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපි වැඩසටහන් ගණනාවක් හදලා තියෙනවා.
දිනමු හැම බන්දු පාපන්දු දිනමු 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 නැත වේග නැත වාද රට දිනන තැනට හැමදේම
finds a pass, here's an opportunity, what a shot! And Leon Barrera wrecks the network for the home side in what was an absolutely beautiful move for Sri Lanka. Sam Duran down his left flank, running into space, squares it, and what an assist! Oh, what a play!
Went through the first 40. Silva making a break in the corner, drives it in the middle, and that's the first goal. It's Raja Mohan.
The 2-goal cushion will really put Chinese Taipei out of this tie. And once again now, De Silva, as we mentioned about that 2-goal cushion.
Here's Swazik driving that in, that's the third goal for Sri Lanka.
From range, and that's been the kind of day, but Kellogg makes no mistake to give for Sri Lanka.
Here's a shot, and that's the first goal.
You are our family and we are your family. This family together, we need to take this game forward that the country went through in 2022 in terms of economy, in terms of business, education, Aragalaya. Then again, we went through a suspension period. So lots of hardship. But one thing we had in common was we were together. Whatever the differences we had in the past or in football, when it come to football, when it come to federation, when it come to governance, we all of us were united together. We fought against the suspension. We fought against the interference. We fought against political involvements, but all 67 we were together. This unity is something that makes us different from all other sports. We have 78 sports, I think, in the country registered, but we are so much of different. We are different from other sports because when it comes to important matters, national matters, government matters, we are together. This is the only way our game, our country's football can go forward. Sometimes we'll have differences, sometimes we'll have opinions, sometimes we'll have elections. It doesn't matter. We can have our own opinion. You can choose whoever you want. That's different. But when we are together, if you want to protect our game, if you want to take our game, we are one family.
Super League encounter between Ratnam and Blue Eagles. Blue Eagles in 5th position with 4 points. They got their first win just last week. And Ratnam, bottom of the points table, struggling, having conceded 15 goals in the first 3 matches. And having no goals for, and 0 points. Crucial match for Ratnam if they are to make any headway up the points table. They've already had 2 matches in week 4. Red Star versus Nivyans yesterday. Surprise result where Nivyans eked out a point. Felt they were the better team yesterday after having conceded 10 goals in last week's game against Renown. They've bounced back hard against Red Star. They were leading twice on a couple of occasions and they had to come back from a goal down to equalize 3-3 at the last moment. Ratnam against Blue Eagles today at 3:30. So is Blue Star versus Seahawks and Upcountry Lions versus Defenders on Monday and Tuesday. This is Ratnam warming up. Big game, and especially this man on your screen, goalkeeper. We'll have a Mevin Chand, the man as a custodian for Ratnam. Blue Eagles will be eyeing the second win. If Blue Eagles gets the win, they will have 6 points out of the first 4 games, making their head and will make headway into the top 6, who will go into the next stage. Both teams are coming out onto the middle. Ratnam in their blue, Blue Eagles in their maroon. Referee for today, Mohammad Rumi. He will be assisted by Malika Madhushani and Shamak Ridmal, with the fourth official being Pabasara Minisarani. Ratnam will be buoyed by the fact that they have Sasanga Dilhar in their lineup, who joined the team just last week. Have been a mainstay with Ratnam. Joined the team after a long while. Definitely will have to play a crucial role today and for the rest of the weeks. The young squad, a lot of unknown players. The two skippers, Sasanga Dilhara for Ratnam, Rohan Fernando for Blue Eagles. Who did have a clash of heads in that last game. Blue Eagles. The skipper Rohan Fernando, he looks okay to continue. No concussion. Mohammad Rumi. Having another important game to referee. Starting lineup for Blue Eagles: Rohan Fernando, the skipper, Ravindra Nirmal Fernando, Firaz Zahir, an important player for Blue Eagles, but who hasn't shown his class the first 3 weeks. Let's hope he has a better game this time around. Fariz Umar, Chamit Dissanayaka, Kaunidu Netsara, Udar Deshan, Mohammad Murshid, experienced Sri Lanka goalkeeper, Stephen Fernando, Kings Bay Prince, and Doku Felix. Prince and Felix being the two foreign players in the lineup for Blue Eagles. And for Ratnam, Mohammad Hamadan, Tuan Umar, Francis Chikaruba, Kaushal Pereira, Alphonse Krisraj, is Jay Suhashan, Mohammad Sharaf, Sirikumar, Yugesh Raj, Tenuko Devinja, Sasanga Dilhara, captain, and Mevishan, the goalkeeper. Kasum Jayasuriya being the head coach of Ratnam, and Tuan Rahim, the head coach of Blue Eagles, both of whom have played for Sri Lanka, played alongside each other and against in the club circuit in the years gone by. As Blue Eagles starts off proceedings, attacking from left to right on your screen. First 10-15 minutes will be important for both teams to settle down, get into a rhythm. Toku Felix, he's fouled by Sasanga Dilhara. Cynical challenge. Ratnam. He has men outside. Mohammad Sharaf. Still has the ball. Pulled back by Udara Deshan. Sasanga Dilhara with the delivery towards the goal. Just about curling away from the goal. Was he looking at shot on goal or a cross? You'd never know. Francis to Sharaf. Sharaf once again loses possession. Kings Bay Prince trying to put a through ball, not successful. Doku Felix rather, who has dropped back. teams still finding their way in the early going. Just 6.5 minutes gone in the game. Prince. Doku Felix holding up the ball. Cross coming in, easily headed back out. But it took a deflection off the referee. So they'll have to start things off with a drop ball. Francis. Once again held back. It's that same man, Doku Felix, twice in a row. Francis will take this free kick. Look to put that ball deep into the opposition half. Rohan Fernando laddering into each other. Down holding his ankle. Clash between Mohammad Hamadan and Fernando, the skipper for Blue Eagles. Not the best of back passes coming in from Ravindu Nirmal Fernando. As I'm joined in the commentary box by Romario. Very good afternoon to you, Romario.
Good afternoon, Naud. And we're all expecting a more closer tussle in this game between Ratnam and Blue Eagles, as Ratnam have had quite a torrid start to the season. So have the Eagles. Not too many results going their way, but I'm sure both teams will no doubt set their sights towards a victory in this game. Both teams have played 3 games apiece, with Blue Eagles winning a solitary game, while Ratnam, they have been up against it not once, twice, but on all 3 occasions, as Francis with his stray arm catches Umair. Nothing too much in it there, but can see the arm being stuck out. He'll be pleased that nothing much was made out of it, as the referee let play carry on. 10 minutes into this first half between Ratnam and the Blue Eagles. Neither team really able to find their footing, as Ratnam can see their inexperience telling. But I think this will be an opportunity for them to somehow grind out some points. Ideally, they will be looking for 3. But well, we all know that the Blue Eagles too will not come easy. Surveying his options, Francis, and gives it out to Pereira. Yet again, the Ratnam players not on the same wavelength on that occasion. Ratnam have conceded 15 goals in their 3 games, which has been quite downhill from where they started off. Started off with a 3-0 defeat against Colombo FC, and well, it only got worse from then on. Beg your pardon, it was against Renown that they went 3-0 down. After that, they lost 7-0 to the Seahawks and 5-0 against Colombo FC, which well, hasn't helped their cause in any way. Their team will no doubt be down in confidence. Blue Eagles, on the other hand, they somehow managed a victory from their 3 games. The last one against the Defenders, winning 2-0, but they too did not have the best of starts, with a draw against New Young and a loss against Blue Star. But well, as they all say, those past games, well, they are all in the past, and this is a new game, a new opportunity for these 2 teams, and they will no doubt be desperate for some points now, as the winger is brought down.
Yes, a wonderful skill from Firaz Zahir to initially get around Tuan Umar, get to the ball and force that foul. Early opportunity. Doku Felix earlier striking it wide off the volley, just away from the far post. This another good position for Blue Eagles. Faris Umar to take this. Seven players inside the box for Blue Eagles. But a very poor delivery from Faris Umar. He was looking to go straight at goal from a very acute angle. And the execution very poor from Faris Umar. Ideal delivery would have been across just onto the edge of the 6-yard box. There were 7 Blue Eagles players.
Quite a few fouls early on by the Ratnam players. They're trying to grind their way. Manjula Sirisena, Kasun Jayasuriya, the head coach of Ratnam, while Tuan Rahim is the head coach of Blue Eagles. Rising high there, Francis, and managing to put the ball out. Madhushani, the assistant referee. Deciding that nothing is on Nirmal as he goes back to the keeper. Trying to work their way from behind. Felix trying to be cute there, but unfortunately losing out. And so does the Ratnam player. Zahir on Jesushan, as neither one of them able to keep the ball in play. Here's the defender winger getting that ball into the danger area. The keeper didn't look too confident, but thankfully for his team and his defenders, the Ratnam centre backs just get in the way. In fact, it was Firaz Zahir who wasn't able to make contact. In fact, Kaushal Pereira entrusted with the duties of clearing his lines. Tenuk was trying to run down that left wing. Unfortunately, just lost sight of the ball. Got it stuck in between his feet. Ball over the top. Francis gets in time, but prior to that, the offside flag was raised by Madhushani, the assistant referee. Looked quite offside on that occasion there. Pereira booting it upfield, but the way things are going for Ratnam, nothing really falling at their feet, and again an opportunity for the defenders through delivery there, but well cleared by the skipper Dilhara, coming to his team's rescue. Fernando looking for the long throw, but quickly diffused by the skipper himself for Ratnam. The biggest question now will be whether Ratnam will be able to find some goals. They have conceded a bag full. Unfortunately, have not been able to disturb the scorers themselves.
Yes, indeed, Romario. And I think they would be inspired by the performance of New Youngs yesterday. New Youngs conceded 10 goals against Renown in week 3. Bounced back well against Red Star. They were leading twice in the early going, scoring first, and after Red Star's equalizer, they again scored. And towards the latter stages of yesterday's game, they were down 3-2, but somehow found that equalizer as well. So as you previously said, past games are in the past. This is a new day, new game. And Ratnam's skipper Sasanga Dilhara is someone who could inspire this team as he takes a shot, but not with that kind of execution, Sasanga. They need to take full advantage of these dead ball situations from free kicks and corners. Need to put the pressure back on the Blue Eagles. A very unknown side young side for Ratnam. Rohan Fernando trying to find Nirmal Fernando. Unable to control that ball. But once again, good ball from Rohan Fernando to find Ravindra Nirmal. Here's Prince, takes a shot. Away from the target. Way off target. That was the first real shot taken by Blue Eagles in the first 23 minutes of play. They haven't been able to test out Tiventara Mevinshan, the goalkeeper for Ratnam. This time, the free kick into the box, headed out. Prince Firaz Zahir, who comes back in, goes into traffic, but he earns his side a free kick. Foul committed by Spriti John J. Suhashan. We are nearing the hydration break. Felix looking for that return pass. Tinuk Deunija with some fancy footwork. They don't have the ball, but this time around, once again, offside called. This time Fariz Umar, the guilty man. Ooh, that was very tight.
Cleared by Francis, but again nothing really on for either team as the hydration break, the first one of this game between Ratnam Sports Club and Blue Eagles Sports Club. Neither team really able to put the keeper of their opponents under pressure, and I think Ratnam, they'll be quite pleased to have ended that first quarter of sorts with without conceding. But you can see the coach of Ratnam giving out his instructions. Here are a few opportunities that were missed by Ratnam, when in fact by both teams. Neither really able to put the goalkeepers under pressure, but it was the Eagles who had majority of the opportunities, and I think that one of Prince was one that looked like it would have worked the keeper, but that too was quite off the target. That brings us to the end of the first hydration break, as both sets of players going back into their respective positions. Looking for a reverse pass there, but somehow manages to bring that ball down was Prince. However, CT Francis gets in the way. Now another cross comes in. This time that was more on target, more of a shot rather than a cross, you could say, but doesn't really trouble the keeper. Skipper Dilhar finding his winger as he makes his way through, but fortunately for Tenuk, he was a yard offside there on that occasion. But some positive signs for Ratnam as they go in search of their first goal in this Super League competition. Again, offside this time on the opposite end of the field. Quite a few youngsters lining up for Ratnam, and that has not helped their cause, as they have lacked experience, which has seen them in the rut they find themselves in right now. Zahir finds Prince as Fernando receives it on this near the right side of the field, but nothing really on. Beg your pardon, as he puts the ball back to Fernando, and now Prince still playing it side to side, making their opponents work. However, again the attack breaks down, but Prince goes in search of it and finds the ball now with a bit of space in front, looking for his support player. Here's Felix, and that is the first goal. Doku Felix, he finds the bottom corner, as Ratnam's resistance is not so long-lived, and it has been broken by the Blue Eagles, as just minutes out from the hydration break, Ratnam find themselves conceding a soft goal, you could say. The keeper, he should have done better. He should have done much better. A wobbly old kick. However, it somehow beat the youngster in goal, as Doku Felix celebrates, and the deadlock is broken now.
Yes, Felix doing everything right. Coming into the box and putting that ball towards the far post. Not the best of connections, as you said, Romario, but did enough to get past the diving Tevintara Mevinshan and into the goal at the far post. And major concerns here for Ratnam. Their skipper Sasanga Dilhara hobbling away. Definitely not good signs.
I think now him looking at his team conceding the goal would have added a bit more of that foul which wasn't called, you could say, but well, that's that, as the deadlock has been broken by the Blue Eagles, and I'm sure that goal adds to his woes and his pains, Sasanga Dilhara.
Unfortunately for Ratnam, we don't have VAR, but Blue Eagles taking the lead in the 31st minute, looking to make back-to-back wins in 2 weeks. Felix scoring his second of the tournament. The first yellow card of the game goes to Udar Deshan of Blue Eagles. A raised elbow at the face of Alphonse Christoraj. Sasanga Dilhara is back on the field for Ratnam. Good news for the Ratnam faithful. Kings Bay Prince to Rohan Fernando. Blue Eagles happy to keep the ball in their own half. Looking to stretch this Ratnam defense, the compact Ratnam defense, as Francis Chikaruba goes over Doku Felix. Francis was all over Felix. Now gives away a free kick.
Foul has gone the way of the Eagles, as the skipper Fernando lobs it into the box. This time though, Francis manages to clear it, but again Prince this time has been brought down at the edge of the box. Looked like Kristuraj tripped on his own feet and then managed to bring down Prince. And now in a more closer angle near the box, receives a free kick to the Blue Eagles. Lining up behind the dead ball is Firaz Zahir. Two-man wall. The skipper Zahir chipping it in to the far post, but unfortunately not enough bodies for the Blue Eagles to get on that second ball, as Francis cleared his lines, but quite a few more worries for Kasun Jayasuriya as Doku tries to go past Francis. However, the defender clearing his lines, and quite a stop-start game, as this time around it's the winger Tenuka who has been trotted on from the back by Udara Deshan, who needs to be a bit cautious. He has been was booked about 5-6 minutes ago, and he would not be wanted to get in too much of hot water. But now an opportunity. Sasanga Dilhara with his coach bearing him down in his ear, looking to get it into the box. Again, not the best of attempts, but cleared by Deshan for a corner, as the team in blue, Ratnam, will have another opportunity, having overloaded a few bodies into the box. Dilhar again short, not the best of crossers from the corner spot, as any attack has soon been diffused by the Blue Eagles, as they continue to show good composure. Unfortunately though, losing out with a bad touch. Francis gives the ball away. Now he finds his teammates and himself out of position. Here's Felix. Too much on that occasion there, as Sharaf goes to the floor. Seems to be in a bit of strife, does Mohammad Sharaf. Getting a bit of attention from the physio. Seems to be in quite a bit of pain, does the winger. Unable to stand up by himself. Still doesn't look too good for the youngster, as Kasun Jayasuriya is getting his replacements ready, and by the looks of it, there might be an early change coming for Ratnam. But now playing with 10 men. Not the best of passes on that occasion, as was cleared out by Tenuk Devnija. Blue Eagles trying to make full advantage out of the extra man that they have got on the field, as Sharaf still continues to receive treatment. What looks like some damage to his left ankle. Francis trying to clear his lines, but here's an opportunity. Unfortunately for Doku, wasn't able to get enough behind that cross. But now again on the ball was the striker, the goal scorer in fact. Ratnam just unable to keep hold of that ball. Wins a free kick though, does their number 10, Jay Sushan, as he was brought down by Prince from behind. The referee not too happy with that tackle, as looks like it'll be Asmat preparing to come on, as a shot is taken, but off that dead ball. Sasanga Dilhara doesn't really trouble the keeper too much. Mohammad Murshid. A change imminent for Ratnam, as they continue to play with 10 men, as if the task was not as tough with 11. However, the change will now be made. That's the end of the game for Sharaf, as he's replaced by Asmat. So more worries for Kasun Jayasuriya and Ratnam. Cross coming in, well, in fact looked like a shot more than a cross, but that's the first substitution, as we see 5 minutes being added on.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes of added time.
The Eagles somehow fighting their way. And winning a free kick is Prince. As another opportunity for the Blue Eagles to get the ball into the box. There's that foul on Prince. Lobbed in. Here's a chance. However, the keeper rushes out and puts the ball towards safety. Theventira Mevinshan is the goalkeeper. Ball comes in from the corner. However, doesn't really go too far into the box as it's cleared by the Ratnam defenders. Still though, nothing really going their way for Ratnam Sports Club. As the Blue Eagles, having scored that only goal in the 31st minute, will be quite happy to go into half time with that single goal advantage. Francis with the task of clearing the goal kicks. Great run there by the winger. Unfortunately though, that final touch just got away from him. But the Blue Eagles in red, full red, will be quite pleased with how things are going on. Ratnam, on the other hand, unable to find any positives out of this first half, as things have not improved over the past few games. They continue to concede, and now this would have been their 16th goal that they have conceded through this tournament. For Ratnam, that elusive goal will no doubt mean quite a lot. Just more than the scoreline, it will no doubt lift their spirits. But as of now, the way things look, it seems quite far off for Ratnam. Blue Eagles have made that breakthrough, and now Ratnam are in quite a bit of difficulty, having to have chase. They have to chase this game as well, which hasn't helped their cause. But that's the half-time whistle coming off the referee Rumi, as Prince says his prayers, and Doku Felix, well, he will be quite pleased to have gotten his second goal of the campaign at half-time, of a goal from Doku Felix in the 31st minute. We go into lemons with the Blue Eagles leading Ratnam 1-0, and I'm sure the Eagles will be quite pleased to have gotten that goal as they walk into the dressing room.
Yes, a crucial goal coming after the hydration break for Blue Eagles. And it has been Blue Eagles who has created almost all the opportunities, while Ratnam have been wasteful in their opportunities, especially of the free kicks. A lot of the action happening on the Ratnam half. And this was the goal. Neat little pass to find Dogu Felix, and definitely Tevintara Mevinshan should have done better. The ball streaking under the diving Mevinshan.
Here are a few telling stats now. 11 fouls from Blue Eagles. But I think it's that attempts on target, the single one, which has been the goal for Blue Eagles of Doku Felix. Both teams quite equal on the attempts at goal. 3 for Ratnam, 4 for the Blue Eagles. But that's that in this first half here in this 18th match of the Super League. We will now go in for a quick commercial break and be back with the second half action on the other side.
පාපන්දුව අපිට විශේෂයි. 2020 වෙනකොට අපි හිටියේ පාපන්දු ලෝක ශ්‍රේණිගත කිරීම වල 206 වෙනි ස්ථානයේ. අපි දැන් 187 වෙනි ස්ථානය දක්වා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා.
සරසරටම එකතු වෙන ජය පිටියක්
රටවල් 20ක් අවුරුදු එකහමාරක් වගේ ඇතුළත අභිබවලා ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා. ඒක මම හිතන්නේ පාපන්දු ශේෂ්ත්‍රය අපිට විශාල ජයග්‍රහණයක්. තව මෙතනත් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා අපිට ආසියාවේ හොඳම කණ්ඩායම බවට පත් වෙන්න අපි උත්සාහ දරමින් ඉන්නවා.
අපි දිනමු ජය ගමන පෙරට අපි දිනමු
ක්‍රීඩකයන් අතර පාපන්දු ක්‍රීඩාව ජනප්‍රිය කරන්න අපි විශාල උත්සාහයක් ගනිමින් ඉන්නවා. අපිට මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපි උත්සාහ ගන්න ඊළඟට අපිට එන දකුණු ආසියානු පාපන්දු තරඟාවලියේ කුසලානය දිනා ගන්න අපි තරඟ කරන්න තමයි අපි සැලසුම් කරන්නේ. අවුරුදු 31කට පස්සේ අපි මේ උත්සාහය ගන්න. මොකද අපි අවුරුදු 31කින් කුසලානය ජයග්‍රහණය කළා නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපි වැඩසටහන් ගණනාවක් හදලා තියෙනවා.
බන්දු පාපන්දු දිනමු 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 නැත බේද නැත වාද රට දිනන තැනට හැමදේම
finds a pass. Here's an opportunity. What a shot! And Leon Pereira wrecks the network for the home side in what was an absolutely beautiful move for Sri Lanka. Sam Duran down this left flank, running into space, squares it, and what an assist! Oh, what a play!
Went through the first 40. Silva making a break in the corner, drives it in the middle,
And that's the first goal. It's Raja Mohan.
The 2-goal cushion will really put Chinese Taipei out of this tie. And once again now, De Silva, as we mentioned about that 2-goal cushion.
Here's Swazik driving that in. That's the third goal for Sri Lanka.
Shot from range, and that's been the kind of day, but Kellogg makes no mistake to give for Sri Lanka.
Here's a shot, and that's the first goal.
through our political involvements, but all 67 we were together. This unity is something that makes us different from all other sports. We have 78 sports, I think, in the country registered, but we are so much of different. We are different from other sports because when it comes to important matters, national matters, government matters, we are together. This is the only way our game, our country's football can go forward. Sometimes we'll have differences, sometimes we'll have opinions, sometimes we'll have elections. It doesn't matter. We can have our own opinion. You can choose whoever you want. That's different. But when we are together, if you want to protect our game, if you want to take our game, we are one family.
චමින්ද නීල් ස්ට්‍රේන්වල් මෙම පුහුණු පාඨමාලාවේ ප්‍රධාන උපදේශක විදිහට කටයුතු කරනවා. ඉතින් මේ පාඨමාලාවේ ගොඩක් අපි කතා කරන්නේ ටෙක්නිකල් ටැක්ටිකල් සම්බන්ධව දේවල්, විශේෂයෙන්ම ග්‍රාස් රූට් වයසේ ළමයටත් යූත් ළමයටත් අපි මොනවද අපි පුහුණුවීම් වලදී ලබා දෙන්න ඕන කියලා. ඉතින් මේක මම විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ කෝස් එක පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ කියලා ලංකාවට හඳුන්වා දෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා කල්පනා කරේ. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පාපන්දු ඇකඩමි දැන් ගොඩක් බිහි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම පාසලට, ඒ වගේම සමාජගත කරන්න. එතකොට මේ ඇකඩමි වල ඉන්න කෝචස්ලා ඒගොල්ලෝ හරහා තමයි මේ දැනුම ග්‍රාස් රූට් ළමයට යන්නේ. විශාල සංඛ්‍යාවක් ඇකඩමි වල පුහුණුවීම් ලබනවා. නමුත් මම හිතනවා මේ කෝචස්ලාට මේ නොලෙජ් එක යන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා මේ පාඨමාලාව ඔබ හදාරනවා කියන්නේ පුහුණුකරුවෙක් විදිහට රටේ අනාගතේ මීට වැඩිය හොඳ තැනකට අපේ රටේ ක්‍රීඩකයන්ව ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන්. බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
මම හර්ෂිනී මදුෂානි ගම්පහ තක්ෂිලා විද්‍යාලයෙන්. ඇත්තට මම හිතන්නේ ගොඩාක් අත්දැකීම් ගත්තා. අපි බොහොම පිරිසක් මේත් එක්ක එකතු වුණා. සියලුම දෙනා මම හිතනවා ගොඩාක් පාපන්දු හැකියාව කුසලතා වර්ධනය කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා A to Z කියලා දෙනවා. ඒක ඇත්තටම වටිනවා. සීලයිසන් කෝස් එක එහා ගිහිල්ලා මේ ප්‍රායෝගික ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් පුහුණුවීම් ගොඩාක් අපිට ලැබලා දුන්නා. ඒ තුලින් මම හිතනවා රටේ අනාගතයට මේක හරියට ක්‍රියාවට නැන්නුවොත් රටේ
Welcome back to this second half between Ratnam Sports Club and the Blue Eagles Sports Club in match number 18 of week number 4 in this Super League organized by the Football Federation of Sri Lanka. Ratnam have conceded the solitary goal during the first half in the 31st minute. Scored courtesy Doku Felix for the Blue Eagles. But apart from that, nothing too much to speak about in that first half, with it being quite a stop-start affair. And now the second half kicked off by the Ratnam players as they hoist it straight away into their opponent's half. But the keeper not troubled, not at all, as Ratnam secures possession but unable to keep hold of it. And there was a single change by the Blue Eagles with Fernando going out. And here's an opportunity. Lovely bit of dribbling work there by Zahi, but unfortunately wasn't able to find the put any power behind that shot. And he was Stephen Fernando was replaced by Dimutu Lakmal during the halftime break. At halftime rather, Kasun Jayasuriya, the coach of Ratnam. Here's a good delivery, chasing down the wing, and he has been brought down by Rohan Fernando, the skipper for Blue Eagles, and he has been booked as well in the 47th minute of the game. Did cut back inside, did Yugesh Raj. Unfortunately though for him, Rohan Fernando had no intention of getting the ball, stuck his foot out and brought the winger down, Sasanga Dilhar. Well, this time he has given the opportunity to Tenuk. By the looks of it, he is a left footer, but Dilhar goes back. Well, that was quite a short-lived opportunity, as Dilhar had quite a horrendous few first half deliveries, but this time around much better. Unfortunately, doesn't really make anything out of it. Brought down, cries for a penalty, but the referee says that the tackle was clean on the ball, as he stops and goes back. Does the referee Rumi? The goalie is out on his feet, off his feet rather. Mohammad Murshid, but that was the tackle by Prince. Looked quite dangerous, but by the looks of it on second viewing, did seem to get the ball. It was quite a great call by the referee. Credit should go to him. Murshid getting a bit of spray on his right knee. Here's where that little injury may have occurred. He rather leaped highest and managed to get his fist on that ball. Was cleared out to safety. But after that, it took a bit of time for the goalkeeper to get back up on his feet. But now he's up and ready and well, as a searching ball goes towards the striker, but nothing really on, as Ratnam have not looked quite up to it in blue. while the Blue Eagles are in red. And another foul is called, goes the way of the Blue Eagles. As the midfielder was dragged to the floor. Rohan Fernando, the skipper for the Blue Eagles, he is on a yellow card as well. Gets the ball into the box, but the keeper, wobbly old Ratnam keeper, the youngster, butterfingers, but thankfully for him and Ratnam, not too much damage done. Now Francis trying to get away, but he loses possession and has been turned and brings the man down, does Francis, but he too goes clutching onto his ankle. Oh, well, in fact, by the looks of it, the free kick has gone the way of Ratnam. Gets a hand from the referee, does C.T. Francis. Think there was a kick that may have just clipped Francis and not the ball. He went holding his left ankle. The game, though, nothing much has changed from that first half. The stop-start affair continues as a through ball is played. However, the flag goes up for offside. Ridmal, the assistant referee on that far side. Tight call. But we now resume. Francis hoofs it up field in search of his teammate, but didn't reach the destination that it was meant for. However, here's the winger, gets across in, here's an opportunity, goes begging for Ratnam, and by the looks of it, that was the best chance they had throughout this game. Great bit of dribble work there by Sri Kumar. Unfortunately for him, Tenuk wasn't able to make contact. But now Ratnam defending as Umar looked to take a shot, which with nothing really too much to bother the keeper. Ratnam trying to up the ante in this second half now.
Yes, indeed. They need to find that equalizer as quickly as possible. Called for offside. Preeti John J. Suhashan. Let's see. Well, you could judge whether he was offside or not from that. But Ratnam would be disappointed that they lost out on an opportunity. Dara Deshan into the 6-yard box, comfortably headed out by Francis Chikaruba. He has been dominating those aerial duels against Blue Eagles this evening. Both Ratnam's Tevinthara Mevinshan, the goalkeeper, and Eagles both of them from Ratnam rather, Kaushal Pereira, both down. Yes. While Francis Chikaruba was heading that ball out, it was Kaushal Pereira who clattered onto his own goalkeeper, Tevinthara Mevinshan. Both are okay to continue. Rumi restarts proceedings with a drop ball. Prince, and here's Doku Felix, Firaz Zahir on the rebound. Still the opportunities there, and finally on the third attempt, it's Doku Felix who gets the second for Blue Eagles. Lot was happening in that. Doku Felix missing that early initial opportunity, and Firaz Zahir, the goal at his mercy, only finding that near upright. But Dimut Lakmal putting the ball in, and neat little finish, you could say, from Felix. Blue Eagles lucky on one occasion, and Ratnam lucky on a couple of occasions. The initial two, the one that mattered was the last one. And Doku Felix, with his third of the campaign, gives the Blue Eagles a 2-0 lead.
Certainly does, and a bit of breathing space for the Blue Eagles. But for Ratnam, well, they will be kicking themselves. It's that sort of a season, that sort of a campaign which is just in the beginning of it. But well, your boy, nothing seems to be going their way. And even on that occasion, it was clearly visible. See that the clearances as well, they are just unable to get it out of the field of play, which is quite horrendous. And now they will have to chase the game, not just chasing it from being one behind, but now they are 2 goals, trailing by 2 goals, Ratnam, and they will now be hoping that it won't turn too bad.
Just seconds before the goal, I was going to say I was going to say, Romario, that they needn't be complacent with that 1-goal lead. On the hour mark, Blue Eagles find themselves in a comfortable position. Even in the second half, Ratnam haven't really threatened the Blue Eagles goal.
They certainly haven't, and that's why they find themselves in the hole that they are. Changes, one more is being made by coach Kasun Jayasuriya in hope of a bit of a change of fortunes. Tenuk, well, he missed a clear opportunity and he finds himself being subbed off as Sharik comes into the field of play. Fernando, the skipper for Blue Eagles, hoisted it in, but there's been a foul, and now here's an opportunity as Kristuraj tried to get highest to head the ball, but unfortunately all he managed to do was put his opponent down. And now another opportunity for the Blue Eagles to get the ball into the danger area. And it will be Dimudu Lakmal chipping it in as the keeper again should have just let it go. Francis not too happy with his keeper, not the first occasion, as a corner has been conceded. Well, the ball was going out of the goal clearly and out of any danger. There was no need for the keeper to stick his hands, but he does so. Here's an opportunity, and what a save this time around. A shot which was coming through quite a few bodies, was on target by the looks of it. But this time around, the keeper does extremely well to punch it out for a corner. Still though, danger signs for Ratnam. Zahir to lob it in with his left foot, and again cleared to safety, but a corner. Taken shot. Returns it to Fahir. Zahir, and oh boy, an open header. The goal was begging to be found. Unfortunately, Chamit Disanayaka, he wasn't able to find the contact he was looking for. Here's an opportunity on the other end. Cut back. Will this be the goal that Ratnam were looking for? No, it won't. End-to-end play. It was a lovely cutback by the Ratnam number 10. Unfortunately though, Kristuraj wasn't able to find the target, as at the looks of it, he hit his own man and the ball travelled out. But Blue Eagles survive yet another scare. Just not enough on that ball from Doku Felix. Great idea, just lacking a bit of execution, as the game has now Navod opened up with Ratnam chasing it. And here's another foul on the edge of the box. He will nag as much as he wants Kaushal Pereira, but by the looks of it, he just put a bit too much weight on the player, the Blue Eagles player there. You can clearly see, well, in fact, it is Dilhar, the skipper. Just lent too much, and there was no invitation needed for Firaz Zahir as he went to the floor and won a free kick on the edge of the box, Navod.
A rash decision from Sasanga Dilhara. Giving Blue Eagles another opportunity to put more daylight between them and Ratnam. This time the free kick, the set move, going just over the crossbar.
Great idea by the two foreigners, Prince and Felix, but just unable to keep it on target was Felix. Now Ratnam, well, they need a change in fortune, and they need it soon because time is soon running out on them, and they trail by 2 goals. Zahir and skipper Sasanga Dilhar been spoken to yet again by the referee. Both players just not too happy, but so is Kasun Jayasuriya, the coach for Ratnam. Zahir yet again. Well, handball there. Looked like it was, but the referee says that it was more of an arm than a hand. Shot taken, but well kept out by the keeper. Great position by Murshid as he quickly diffused anything that was on. Rash clearance there by the Blue Eagles player. Now this game is heating up, and it's heating up fast as Netsara gets booked for this tackle. Clearly quite a bit of a dangerous one there. The third Blue Eagles player to have his name taken by the referee.
Again, another rather clumsy yellow card to take. The player was going nowhere, and now you have given an opportunity for your opponents to putting this ball into the box. Sasanga Dilhar, the man, the skipper for Ratnam. The edge of the 6-yard box. The ball was going behind Sirikumar Yogesh Raj. He had to twist his body. But unable to get proper power and direction behind it. Murshid keeping things calm and puts the ball into the opposition box. Rohan Fernando gives away the ball, and here's Sasanga Dilhara, the ball going away from the box. Here's Dilhara once again, header, doesn't get a proper connection. As we head into the hydration break in this second half. Good cross in. Yes, it took the head of Ramindu Nirmal Fernando. Should have been a corner, but apparently given as a goal kick. But an important 3 minutes for Ratnam to regroup and come up with an attacking plan to find those 2 goals. The last 19 plus added time. It has been another long day for Ratnam. Kasun Jayasurya having an animated talk with his striker Sirikumar Yugesh Raj. Some of the chances in this second half. That one from Chamit Disanayaka definitely should have been headed goalwards in the least. But as it stands, Blue Eagles heading towards back-to-back victories after their win against Defenders last week. Murshid with the goal kick to restart things after the hydration break. Zahir
Bodies all over the floor as the game is no doubt heating up as we head into the final 15 minutes or so. Ratnam really in search of that elusive first goal, while the Blue Eagles, well, they know all they need to do is hold on to possession and make sure that their opponents aren't able to score. But easier said than done, as tempers flare, but play will resume with a drop ball in favor of Defenders. as they hoof it upfield with a bit of trickery is Umar. Finds his teammate, but not the best of crosses there by Deshan as the ball goes out. Francis clears his lines, but unfortunately again doesn't really find his teammate. Blue Eagles know that they have now pretty much secured this game as they just need to hold on to the ball and not let their opponent score, because 3 points are about 14 minutes away from the Blue Eagles. The last few minutes though have been quite dangerous as momentum looked as if it had shifted in favor of Ratnam, but just when they didn't need it did the hydration break come. Now they will no doubt need to have to throw a few bodies forward if they are to find that elusive breakthrough. The referee getting in the way, not for the first time in this game. Not the best of touches there by Prince, but again possession went the way of the Blue Eagles as they somehow managed to hold on to it by the greatest difficulty. But now a searching ball for Zahir, and it has been played out of the field of play for a corner as Kaushal Pereira went through the advertising hoarding as well. Trotting to take it is Nirmal Fernando. Corner into the box. A follow-up shot from Faris Umar, deflected out for yet another corner. But the ever present Francis trying to clear his lines, not for the first time in this game. Lovely bit of play there. 1-2 by the Blue Eagles forwards, but unfortunately didn't find the outcome they were looking for. Defenders, the Blue Eagles with another corner. Unfortunately, bouncers past everyone does that corner. So chance after chance goes begging for the Blue Eagles as Ratnam going in search of that all elusive goal. Fernando needs to be careful. He is on a booking. Kasun Jayasuriya with a lovely touch there outside the playing area. Now cross comes in. Unfortunately though, just a bit too close for the keeper as he stays down after collecting that cross. The skipper will be quite unhappy with his attempts this evening at crossers and at shots from open play and over the dead balls. Sasanga Dilhara. Here's an opportunity. Lovely bit of play there. Unfortunately though, for Faris Umar, he did everything apart from finding that finish. And a good save by the keeper as well, Mevinshan. But what a ball. Cut inside did Umar. And boy oh boy. Oh my word. What an opportunity. Another one goes begging for the Blue Eagles. Here's Sasanga again. Another disappointing cross there. Too close to the keeper, as he's bread and butter for the goalkeeper, Murshid. Now the Blue Eagles with about 9 minutes plus whatever add-ons to hold on. Here's another look at that opportunity which Umar missed. He did everything right apart from finding the back of the net. But credit also should go to the goalkeeper. On that occasion, he did extremely well to get in between the player and the ball. Player goes to the floor for the Blue Eagles, but play continues as a searching delivery towards the forward, but well dealt by with the keeper, but he gets clattered in for his troubles. Both players clearly going for the ball. It was the keeper who got to it first, but Yugeshwaraj clattered into him, Murshid, as he is still on the floor. But this game has no doubt opened up drastically, as Ratnam are still unable to find that elusive goal. Hoofed up and out of the field of play. Lovely bit of one-touch play there by the Blue Eagles. Prince and Doku getting into the thick of the action as Fernando finds his teammate, and lovely bit of play there by Zahir, looking for Doku. He lays it off. Here's a shot, but in the way was Francis. So not been having the best of seasons has his team, but Francis no doubt shows up time and time again for his team. Prince not too pleased with that, but the referee calls him out for that scuffle between the two players. Dinked into the box, searching for a Ratnam head, but again same story. Kaushal Pereira, it was the player who was over that dead ball situation. Unfortunately though for them, Ratnam, nothing really going their way, and you can see that They are unhappy with how things are progressing, but unfortunately for them, nothing really going their way again, conceding another free kick as well. So now it's just a matter of time for the Blue Eagles. The inevitable Prince finding his teammate, looking, searching delivery for Zahir, but he's well defended by Pereira as he got in between man and ball and shepherded it away into touch. As another change goes off, does Umar, as he's replaced by Rifkan. So second change for the Blue Eagles. Here's that good strength shown there by Kaushalya Pereira. Now Francis looking for support, trying to be a bit cute. Another search in delivery, but well dealt by Rohan Fernando, who is in fact on a yellow card, and he has been playing extremely well and cautiously. Francis driving up, unhappy with his teammate is Francis. It was Asmat on that occasion who very casually received the ball and conceded possession as the throw into Spriti John, unhappy with that call by the assistant, but Doku Felix has scored 3 goals in this season in the Super League. 2 in this game, the first in the 31st minute and the next in the 58th. Umar searching for that long throw. Man goes down and wins a free kick. Does Ratnam. Yugesh Raj, that was, who was clattered from behind by Disanayak. Again it will be Dillara, the skipper, over the dead ball. Looking for Francis, just not going his way, neither is the way of his team, as now we have about a minute or so plus few add-ons. Murshid search in delivery, finds Doku, he finds his teammate, now opening up, shot taken, unfortunately they are not able to go past the Ratnam defensive line, as unfortunately again it is their forward Sri Kumar finding himself offside, as changes are being rung, not one but two. Kristuraj and Hamdan have been subbed off by Salif and Nikesh. Ratnam hoping for a bit of change in fortunes. Nikesh straight into the action as the board is raised. 6 minutes to be added on for stoppages, and Ratnam are 6 minutes away from going down in their fourth game. Now have considered 17 goals in total. Just a matter of time. The Blue Eagles with 2 goals from Doku Felix means they will be adding to their tally of points with 2 wins. If things stand this way, they will have 7 points, while Ratnam 4 games, 4 defeats, minus 17 is the goal difference. And what a torrid season they are having. Players on different wavelengths. Here's their number 10 with a bit of flair. Header, unfortunately not on target. They are knocking on the door, but unable to find the key to go inside and find the back of the net. But it is that sort of a season for the team Ratnam. 4 games in, 4 defeats on the horizon. High foot on that occasion, quite dangerous. The referee been spoken to by his teammates. Thankfully, there's no contact made by that high foot. But here's another opportunity for Ratnam, searching for that elusive first goal of this game and of this season. Hoisted in, and here's a chance, but the goalkeeper Murshid recovers well and clings on to that ball that he spilt. This time the ball was much better, just unable to find pounce on that little spill was Asmat. Both players going in hard at it, Asmat and Murshid, the keeper, as he bites down on a few more seconds on the clock. And has a sip of well-earned water. There's the Blue Eagles goalkeeper. But what a stop-start game this has been. No team really able to gain any momentum. It has been that sort of an evening and that sort of a game. But we are into the final 30 seconds as Ratnam mounts one final attack. Good search in delivery there. But what was that? Well, only the player would be able to tell what it was. However, disappointing. Not for the first time in this game. Again, another search in delivery to no one in specific. Maybe one final opportunity for the Blue Eagles. All over the player was the Ratnam defender Umar. Rifkan didn't really know what hit him. But here's an opportunity. Lakmal, Dimutu Lakmal, hoisting it into the box. Doku Felix, he would have had his name up in lights had he had got that touch. Would have been the third hat-trick of this competition. Unfortunately for Felix, wasn't able to get a touch on that. Ratnam in the final few minutes of the game. But that's that. Blue Eagles to the applause from their fellow fans and supporters. The man on screen, Doku Felix, with a brace, helps the Blue Eagles to their second victory and piles more pressure on Ratnam as their season continues to go from bad to worse. 3 points in the bag for the Blue Eagles of their fourth game. They have secured a victory in their second game. Pressure mounting on Kasun Jayasuriya and his team. Four defeats out of 4 games and having conceded 17 goals. Ratnam will find themselves in quite a precarious situation. The Blue Eagles, on the other hand, well, they have secured their second victory of this Super League 2026. As the referees head out, Doku Felix with his first in the 31st minute of the game and his second in the 58th minute helps the Blue Eagles to yet another victory, their second of this campaign. As the congratulations go on, both teams wishing each other well. Francis, just off your screen, doesn't look to be too happy. As the final score is Ratnam 0, Blue Eagles 2. As the team in maroon this evening secured their second victory. As we have a look at a few highlights from that second half. Some great bit of play there by the number 10. That was Zahir. Fernando was booked, and a shout for a penalty went away. But this was the second goal for Doku Felix. After Zahir missed a sitter, Felix just managed to put it on target, and it found its way to the back of the net. Chances plentiful for the Blue Eagles. However, that was that, as Ratnam tried extremely hard to find that elusive goal. However, they were unsuccessful. Umar had a golden opportunity to make it 3, but failed to find the back of the net, failed to beat the keeper. This was a good opportunity which wasn't on target. So was this. I think the biggest of chances for Ratnam, as Doku Felix missed that final opportunity for his hat-trick. But here's a look at the stats. 10 chances for Ratnam, 18 for the Blue Eagles. 5 on target for the Blue Eagles, of which 2 were goals. Ratnam with 3 on target. Fouls, well, nothing to separate the two teams, as corners clearly show that there was only one team in with a shout, and it was the Blue Eagles, as they piled pressure on Ratnam. But yet another game and yet another defeat for Ratnam, and their season continues to go from bad to worse. This is the updated points table. Blue Eagles move above the Seahawks, as Renown are sitting pretty on top with 10 points. The Upcountry Lions with 9, and Colombo FC with 8. So those are the 3 unbeaten teams in the competition, with the Upcountry Lions still having a game in hand. At 4th place, it's Blue Eagles who move with their second victory. Seahawks in 5th place with 6 points. Red Star with 4 points are on 6th position. Blue Star with 3 points are in 7th position. New Young, Defenders and Ratnam, are in 8th, 9th and 10th place respectively, with Ratnam looking horrendous given the 4 games that they have played. Folks, well, that is the points table, as we are in having completed 18 games in week 4 of this Super League competition organized by the Football Federation of Sri Lanka. We have 2 more games left. It's a Blue Star against Seahawks tomorrow, and the Upcountry Lions set to take on the Defenders on Tuesday, as we see the end of week 4 of the Super League 2026. Well, folks, that's all we have from here, from Sugatadasa, at the end of game number 18. Until we meet you tomorrow, it's me, Romario De Silva, signing off with Navod alongside our technical and production crew. It's thank you and goodbye.